Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Real here, and today I'm finna show y'all how I made this I Am Music type beat. So Carti dropped I Am Music on March 14th, and he also just dropped a deluxe, sorry for the wait is what he called it. Literally just that mug is on my phone right now, bro. He dropped Backroom, so I'm happy for that. 2024 is on there, and he also dropped A Different Day alongside Fuck My DJ, I think. But there's a lot going on this beat. I actually arranged it. Bruh. I know, I never do that. If you watch these, you know for a fact I don't do that. But yeah, literally I have notes on this mug because I don't want to re-record this again. But yeah, a lot of songs that I loved, I really like Good Credit. I like Backrooms 2024. I like Crank is Radar. I love Radar, bro. I think that one was originally called Walk. K-pop / ketamine. I didn't like it at first when it was on YouTube, but I like it now, bro. Hood Buyer, HBA. I just hate those snare rolls and the fact they removed like 2 of Carti's fucking lyrics. But yeah, Evil Jordan, bro, I started liking out of nowhere sometime last year. And high key, hey, cool that they got that intro, but bro, a minute long each time that I'm gonna go and replay that mug. I'm saying Swamp Izzo, you did your big one, but you know, it was whatever, you know. But yeah, guys, so my thoughts on I Am Music. I thought it was a cool album. Took forever to drop, but I didn't think it was anything insane. I know a whole lot of people are glazing the shit out of it. That's my opinion. I don't think it's gonna have a whole lot of red effect. Even Carti said in Hood by Air, bro.
It wanted this atmosphere y'all sick, but I told him I'm coming normal.
But hey, y'all, with that said though, we finna head right into the beat. If at any time y'all enjoy, pick up or learn anything, you know, hit the like button, comment, sub, share. We at 782 subs at the time of recording this. Thank you all so much. We on the road to 800. But yeah, with that said, in the FL. So first part that I'm gonna go over like this intro. We got like 2 sets of strings, Acquire and Expand 2. Got bass guitar that we're gonna be using the overdrive guitar for and Expand 2 as well. We got the producer strings going, and right on number 5 we got this little EQ here, just taking out a whole lot of that low end. Right here we're playing a 5th chord. We're playing the C sharp / D flat. 5th chords going on, so we're just keeping that C sharp and the G sharp, getting rid of the 3rd. I'm also layering that octave, you know, C sharp from the root note. So yeah, this is what we got right here for the chord. Just repeats that the entire way through. We got the female choir, and this is just playing the exact same thing. And over here, flanger, default settings, because I really don't be touching like the flanger chorus settings all too much. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't dabbled with that much. Separation knob we have down here at 50% on the left side, and EQ, we got it right here. It kind of looks like a face, kind of looks like a titty, whichever one you want to think of. But yeah, for this chord right here, this is what we got. But yeah, moving on to like the super important kind of melodic element for the very beginning of the intro. We got this, as I said, in Expand 2. We're on the overdrive guitar this time. So right over here on the left side, guitars and overdrive guitars. Yeah, I was gonna say somewhere there. But yeah, we got the overdrive guitar. I got some delay going on. We got this going on right here for this kind of like bass section because it's like super low. So yeah, this is what we got right here. We're also kicking the velocity on these up all the way. They apparently matter. I did not know that they mattered in Expand 2 until when I made this beat, which was like 2 days ago. But yeah, having the velocity all the way up on the overdrive guitar actually slides the notes just a tiny bit. And then that just repeats the entire way in the intro until bar 17 right here. We also turn off the delay little automation. So right over here, we're actually keeping the female vocal choir. We're adding this crash sound. The crash sound that I use here is the one that as in like most of his beats. Right over here we use the same sound, we just paint it over 40% to the left, and then right here 40% to the right, just making them unique in FL Studio. I also chose to add some decapitator and some reverb on top. But yeah, besides that like little like fading out part, got like this little rocking piano over here in the Trident Extreme. Got some EQ going on, once again another interesting shape. And then we got some reverb. The piano at first sounded like super dry. I just wanted this to be like a little part that like popped in. But yeah, this is what this sounds like right here. We got the Trident once again. We have the digital strings this time over the producer strings. So with the digital strings, we got the EQ right over here, just taking off a decent amount of lows. And this is what it sounds like. We're using a half step interval right here from the C sharp 2D just to make it sound more sinister in the beat. And this is what we got going on. Alright, so right over here, we once again in the Trident, we have the producer strings, exact same effects as before, except this time, instead of playing C sharp the whole way, we're also playing D as well on top. So that's what we got right here. And then alongside that, we have this expressive violas right there. And yeah, this is just a little pattern we're playing, and it just repeats the whole way through. And yeah, final thing that we got here, we got this going on right over here to kind of add on to this little like horror slash like kind of like thriller 90s slasher movie kind of like sound we're getting at with this intro right before like we bring all the drums in. But yeah, we got this right over here, expand 2, we got the bright pizzicatos going on, we got some EQ going on. This is what it looks like. But yeah, we have the lower octave playing on the left side by 25%, and then right over here in this other pattern, this higher octave, just playing 25% over to the right, exact same preset as the previous. So yeah, this is what we got right here for this. That is the entire intro explained. So as I said, we turned off the delay right here, but we're actually bringing up this pattern to play in a different octave. So it's no longer playing like a super bass heavy-esque part, but we're having it play this little pattern right here, bringing these notes up as well. And this is the only note with the velocity turned all the way up to have that slide sound. So this is what we got right over here. So yeah, that's what we got right there. Alright, but that's like the entire intro explained. Only other thing that I did here is I threw in a bunch of small bass attacks all over the place alongside my tag, which I'm gonna play in a sec. I'm gonna explain this part after the hook section because it's gonna make a lot more sense to do that. But this is what we got for the intro right here. Yo, I was dying the whole way through listening to that because of that tag. But yeah, that's what the intro sounds like. Right over here for the hook section, copying over the digital strings, copying over the producer strings, copying over the pizzicatos, copying over this aggressive viola. Only other things here that are different: drums, whatever the fuck that is, I guess. We have some brass going on, some other things, but we're gonna get into this. But right over here, we got some tubular bells playing. So this is what we got for the pattern right here. I've really been enjoying using tubular bells for whatever reason. I saw someone remake Type Shit by Future. That's what it was Aiden. But yeah, that's what we got going on for the tubular bells right here. So yeah, that's what we got right there. Right here on bars 1 and 3, we have like a lower big brass kind of playing in expand 2. We got some EQ going on towards the lows so it doesn't clash too much with the 808, but this is what we got. So yeah, over here, once again on the overdrive guitar, we changed the pattern up to this right here. Delay knob is still all the way down on the mix. Yeah, that's what we got. Once again, this note right here in particular is all the way up on the velocity, so it kind of has a little bit of a slide, but it's not doing the octave jump as it did prior. The second in the intro, we turned off the delay. But yeah, going on to whatever I have here. Yeah, I was gonna say, knowing me, this is an organ. So yeah, right over here with the organ, electric organ, we got some EQ going on over here. So we got, also have just a tad bit of high end added, but yeah, just mainly like high passing a lot of the stuff here. This is what we got for the pattern. So yep, that's what that sounds like. High pitch as shit. Yeah, that's quite literally everything. So on to the drums. Alright, so first thing that I did, I put a 1-step hi-hat the entire way through, except for right here. Right over here, we actually got 6 beats right there. Everything else though is just sitting on every quarter beat. So this is what the hi-hat sound like. Alrighty, then over here on track 2, so yeah, this open hat, what I'm doing right here is I'm just spamming the life out of the open hat. I remember on like a lot of beats in I Am Music, I can't remember specifics right now though, there's like a good amount of like open hat spam, so I just wanted to do that. So this is what we got right here. Right over here, we got a clap. Clap is just hitting on 3 and 7, and then we have like that little accent. And then at the very end, we're doing that little pattern to once again accent the final kind of like clap part on beat 7. So this we've got right over here for you. Hell yeah. And then besides that, we got the kicks going on. Thank God I saw this because I was gonna forget to explain the intro part. So yeah, this is what we got. This note was intentionally left up. I just thought it sounded better in the mix, me personally. For the kick, we got some decapitator going on. But yeah, this is what the hook section sounds like. So yep, that's what that sounds like. So now we're gonna get into this little part of the intro that I left out. It's quite literally everything taken right here, just only the first beat of it. And lastly, down here, we got some little snare roll going on right here. I just chose like a random snare that I thought sounded decent. I think I EQ'd it a bit. Yeah, added some EQ, just a tiny little EQ and some decapitator to it as well. And yeah, that's what we got for the hi-hat roll. The way I achieved this roll is I went to 1/3 beat. Super easy thing. You could just drag those over, select this, hit Control U, exact same thing. Shortcuts are cool. But yeah, right here, we just started with like the little triplet roll, and then right over here, I'm selecting it, hitting Control L, so it merged over. I just went to 1/6 beat, hit Control U again. That's exactly how I achieved that right there. But yeah, this is what the snare roll sounds like. And then all together, we're gonna go from the Swamp Izzo into the hook. This is what this little like end part of the intro sounds like. Yo, I'm so just realizing right now, I never went over the 808. Yo, I'm gonna have to edit that. All right, so right here for the 808, we're going from C sharp to G sharp and then D to G sharp. We're just working with that little, what's it called, the half step interval to make that sinister feeling, even though that the D is not playing right here. Actually, it'd be playing like right around here or whatever. But yeah, this is what we chose to go through the 808. Once again, follows that Hood by Air 808 pattern. Got the Mufasa 808, same 808 that's literally in the jump out drum kit that's right over here. I found that mug off of Reddit. If you can't find it, I don't know what to tell you, bro. But yeah, moving on. As for all the things that I have changed, we're just gonna go into them right now. So the Mufasa 808, we have this playing the exact same pattern from Hood by Air whenever the 808 changes up. So this is what we got right over here. Anyway, so for this hi-hat right over here, quite literally just like a 1/6 the entire way through. Every now and again though, I choose to layer. So right up here, we got these notes pulled up right over here, and then we also right down here have these notes like brought down to semitones. I just moved those notes. I thought they sounded good in place where they were. This is what we got right here for the hi-hats. And yeah, that's what that sounds like. Next change was the kick pattern. So kick pattern changed just slightly from the original. Only real change here is I have this like extra kick accenting. Like you could quite literally see everything damn near stays the same. I move it in a few places so that this kick is going instead of the prior kick. But yeah, this is what we got going on. Using a different kick, we're using a rack kick, which is using a good amount of beats. I forgot to mention, leaving the hook section, we actually add the snare roll that we had right at the intro right here. Using the snare rolls because they were spamming those snare rolls all over Hood by Air, so I mean...
You know, it's a fucking accurate ass IM music type.
But yeah, so besides that, on this second half of like the verse, what we got going on right here, everything stays the same except for the 808 pattern. Yeah, 808 pattern's right here. I had to make sure everything else stays the same. But yeah, 808 pattern. So yeah, that's what we got for the 808 pattern for that switch up. So yeah, another thing to mention, when we're going to the second half of this verse section, once again, snare roll. When we're leaving the verse section, snare roll. Adding the hook back into the verse, the snare roll's in the same place. And then snare roll out to the intro. What we got for the intro? So we're playing with the Trident Extreme, same thing, producer strings, digital strings, the pizzicato stay in, the viola stays in, the tubular bells stay in, big brass stays in. Only things that change, we have no drums and we changed the guitar thing. And what we're doing right here is we brought this mug up the octave. It's quite literally the same as the very beginning with a minor subtle change over here, but we'll get to that in a sec. But right over here, we're having this play an octave up. So this is what we got right here. Oh, that's supposed to play with delay. That's whatever. Y'all can imagine that shit. So yeah, that's what that sounds like. That's what it sounds like with the delay. And then right here, as I said, this is the exact same pattern, I believe, from the very beginning right there with the bass. Only difference, we have the bass right here as well, but this little like octave difference right here. So yeah, only difference is that, besides the extra note that is not all the way up, which is right there. But yeah, this is what we got for the very ending of the beat. I'm gonna play this out so it just resonates. But with all that said, guys, that is the entire beat. I don't even know how I'm gonna do this in post, real life. What am I gonna edit over this? Huh. Well, anyways, guys, if at any moment of the video you enjoyed, if you learned, if you found some new sounds to use, if anything, if you like the songs that I liked, comment, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell me in the comment section down below what y'all liked off of iMusic, what y'all think of it. Y'all like Swamp Izzo? Like, do y'all? I've heard so many people hate on this man. But yeah, besides that, take care, have a nice day. I got those 2 videos on the sides too as well. If you haven't checked them out, go ahead and check them out as well. But yeah, take care.